welcome the DTM, the man, DTM, God knows, for. Thank you very much. The virtual lantern is yours.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon, boss. The Supremo.
Good afternoon.
I want to welcome everyone to this meeting. I'm sorry I'm at work. I can't share my video right now. I'm so excited about the collaboration we're enjoying already in this mandate. Albert Einstein said, to see things in the seed is pure genius. My takeaway from that very profound quote is being proactive rather than reactive is profitable for progress. Our district director for this mandate, distinguished Toastmaster, my boss, Patrick Olwin, Einstein's quote, he and his team have already seen Smedley Distinguished District for District 94 by April 1st, 2022. Is this feat a possibility? Can it be achieved? If you ask me, I would say it is sounding yes. But it won't happen if we don't care for ourselves, for our leaders, and our members. It will not happen if we don't intentionally grow ourselves, our leaders, and our members. Oh, it will never happen if we don't breast the tape of every project or responsibility we embark upon or are saddled with in this mandate. Therefore, distinguished leaders here present on this call, I urge you to take full advantage of this first round club officer training and many other district organized trainings that we will hold in the course of the life of this mandate to equip yourselves, to equip ourselves, so that we can effectively care for ourselves, care for our leaders, and care for our members, so that we can enviably grow ourselves, grow our leaders, and grow our members, and meritoriously win in all we collectively set out to achieve in this mandate as clubs, areas, divisions, and ultimately District 94. I wish you all a great time today as you learn to care, as you learn to grow, as you learn to win ultimately. Thank you. Have a spiffy meeting. I remain the ZAR DTM for God knows Prekabina, also known as DK Magic. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
I think we've lost distinguished Toastmaster, God knows. All right, Toastmaster UK. I think we have got the message that Toastmaster God knows, distinguished Toastmaster God knows, was trying to share. Can we please move on with the meeting and introduce our Toastmaster of the Day for today?
Madam Division Director, I thought we're supposed to have recap
so
of the
have we also? Okay, so let me move on with the introduction. Zoom Master, can you please display the profile of our Toastmaster of the Day for today? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to day 2 of our club officers training. Yesterday, was a very enthralling session. I assure you that today will equally be both enthralling and insightful. And to be our MC for today, our Toastmaster of today, is a woman that I respect. She has served at the club level, at the division level. She's a superwoman, a chief operating officer, a sales woman, a fantastic communicator. I'm sure if you know her, you will agree with everything I have said about her at this point. Our Toastmaster of the day today is Toastmaster Modupe Badiru, who joined Toastmasters in 2017. She's passionate about Nigeria. She's passionate about the environment. And she's passionate about living a healthy earth for our future generations. She is the Chief Operating Officer of Matt and Venn Consulting Limited. And she has evolved from being a professional salesperson to a consummate business manager. She's a trainer. Did I mention she's a fantastic communicator? Please join me to welcome to the virtual lecture our Toastmaster of the day for today, Toastmaster Modupe Badiru.
Thank you very much, Madam Division Director, for your very beautiful introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the Club Officers Training for Division K, Division F, and Division L. How many of us were here yesterday? Can I see a show of hands? You attended the meeting yesterday. How did it go? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Feedback in the chat, please. In the chat room, how was yesterday? It was stellar, it was beautiful, it was amazing. The facilitators were on point. Toastmaster of the day, TV, Toastmaster Kubi Uyanga was flying. So, and that brings us to day 2. And I promise you that day 2 is going to be even better than day 1. It is usually said that the latter will be better than the former. And we pray to be like that today as well. People, so many comments, some are saying it was awesome, it was didactic, it was highly informative, it was great, it was exhilarating. I can imagine, wonderful. So today we promise to take you on a very beautiful ride today as well. Certainly it will be impossible to do all of that on my own, and I will have to work with a team of people to help to deliver this stellar meeting that we're going to have today. And I would love to call upon them to please kindly introduce their roles to us today. First person I would like to call upon today. Okay, Biko, no, if you are not the Toastmaster of the day at this moment, please kindly mute. Kindly mute. Thank you very much. I would like to call on Toastmaster Mercy Arukwe. Toastmaster Mercy Arukwe will be our timer for today. I would like to enjoin her to please share her role with us. Toastmaster Mercy Arukwe, please.
Good afternoon, the Toastmaster of the day, TM Badiru. My name is Mercy Arukwe. Today, for today's session, I'm going to be the timer. My role is basically to make sure that this program runs according to time planned. And to do this, I'm going to use the cue cards displayed in my background. If you're presenting, please, when I share the green card, know that you would be expected to be rounding up. When I share the amber card, at that time, you'll be expected to stop at any time. Of course, I'm also, if you're still speaking, I will be sharing the red card. At that time, you'll be expected to stop because it simply means the time for that presentation is up. And we want to be able to accommodate everything we have in the program and conduct the meeting timely so that we can all go back to enjoy our weekend. Over to you, the Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Toastmaster Mercy Arukwe. May I take this opportunity to inform the House that Madam Timer is a lawyer and she's a human resource practitioner who has founded a few NGOs. Note the fact that she's a lawyer. And if you fall foul of the Timer's laws, you know what can happen. But good enough, she's also a human resource practitioner, so she can tamper justice with mercy. Thank you very, very much, Madam Timer. The next role player for today is the Zoom master. Toastmaster Millicent Monye. Are you online, please? Toastmaster Millicent.
Hello, good morning, Madam Toastmaster.
Good morning, sir.
I am not Millicent. I will take over Zoom Master role for today.
Okay, thank you. Although somebody else had volunteered, but thank you very much, Toastmaster Gimba. Toastmaster Gimba, who will be taking the role of Zoom Master. Please go ahead with the introduction of your role. Thank you, Toastmaster Gimba.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Badru. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I have just been notified that our main Zoom Master is now available. Can I quickly confirm if she's on the call, please? Madam Zoom Master?
I believe she is. Yes, she is. Yes, Toastmaster Millicent. Toastmaster Millicent Monye is available to play the role of Zoom Master.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can you please unmute? Good, I can see
I'm
you
unmuted.
now.
Thank you
so very much. Let me just quickly do your introduction, Toastmaster Millicent Monye. She works for a drilling company. She's also a fashion designer, a makeup artist, and a singer. She loves to jog and she loves listening to audiobooks. Obviously, somebody that loves to sing will love music. And her mantra is anything worth doing at all should be done cheerfully. Can I see a cheerful smile from you, Madam Zoom Master? Thank you very much. Over to you. Please kindly introduce the role of Zoom Master. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TMOD Modipe Badiru. My name is Millicent Monye, and today I'm going to be the Zoom Master. Good day, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as a Zoom Master is to ensure the smooth coordination of most of the activities going to be done today. I'm going to ensure that anybody coming in is muted, especially when they're not speaking, and also assist in sharing the slides and every other thing that would help every speaker present their speeches accurately. Thank you so much. And apologies for the delay as well. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Millicent. Someone said, why is it that all the role players are so beautiful and handsome? Okay, so we're beautiful and handsome because we want to give you a very beautiful session today. Something I loved about the meeting yesterday was that it ended on time, right on time. And we will not waste time today. We'll quickly go on to the first session for this beautiful August afternoon. And to take us recap of the day, okay, thank you very much, Madam Division Director. Can I please call on Toastmaster Ayola Fadeyi? Toastmaster Ayola Fadeyi to please take us on the recap of the meeting yesterday. Toastmaster Ayola Fadeyi, please. Are you in the house? Toastmaster Fadeyi is an engineer with an energy company, and he believes in personal development and is committed to make the world a better place. He joined Toastmasters in August 2019 and currently serves as the administrative officer of Division F. Toastmaster Ayola Fadeyi, please kindly take us on the recap of yesterday's training.
Okay, thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the day. As a recap of what happened yesterday, the meeting started at exactly 10 a.m. and it closed on time, within time. The course order was made. We also have the opening address by the Division Director, Division F Director, Chidi Chukwudimadu, there. The introduction of role players was done by TM Kubi Yanga, who also served as the master of the day. The first training started at exactly 10:20 a.m. This was presented by TM Oladolun TM. He gave an examples of when he achieved the detail in the legacy program and also detail now in the pathways. He explained the tricks of the pathways that is much more elaborate and much more educated than the program. He enjoyed everybody to get down and work towards achieving the pathways. Of course, he said that for your first pathway is always free. Second, you have to pay about $25 per pathway. We had people because we have used various music. Everybody. The next training happened was presented by TM, who shares two success plans of two clubs, including Lighthouse Toastmasters Club and Toastmasters Club. Going through what the club had in plan for the year 2022, she encouraged all the leaders in the house to follow through, to use this as a typical improve on their club success plan. The last trip of the day was coordinated by our experience as a club president, division director. How do we have quality club meetings? She explained to us the features that would have that makes up a quality meeting. One of which is that as just community meeting, the feel at home. First, give us the responses. The meeting closed time and the closing address was made by TM Osim Adibuna. And this is the summary of the last meeting. Over the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayola Fadeyi. Very well summarized and presented. Thank you very much. Something you failed to mention about the meeting yesterday was that network really wanted to deal with us. And I hope that today we will deal with the network as we move very smoothly in our training today. Without wasting much time, because we must work speedily, I'd like to introduce our first facilitator for this afternoon. Do you have your pen and your paper? Because this is somebody that you really should listen to every single word that he has to say today. He'll be taking us on member engagement and retention. Toastmaster Yusuf. I don't know how you are going to do this because membership engagement and retention is very, very critical. Very, very critical to the success of any club. DTM Kayode Yusuf, I believe I met him first time I met him was at the Access Women Network Toastmasters Club. He's a passionate Toastmaster, cybersecurity expert, and technology salesman. He served as club president for Lighthouse Toastmasters and Inlax Toastmasters Club. He has served as Area 18 Director, two-time District 94 Finance Manager, immediate past District 94 Logistics Manager, District 94 Club Extension Chair, three-time District Credentials Committee members. I expect to be seeing applause in the chat box right now because this man that I'm introducing is really awesome. He contested and past Division F Director. He contested for the office of District 94 Club Growth Director for the 2021-2022 Toastmasters year and has attained the highly respected, coveted, hard-working for Distinguished Toastmaster title. He currently serves as District 94 Finance Manager. He loves adventurous travel and meeting new people. Please welcome the Distinguished Toastmaster, Kayode Yusuf, as he takes us on how to engage new members and retain old ones. DTM Kayode Yusuf, sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day. And good morning, fellow Toastmasters and our dear leaders. It's an honor and privilege to be with you this morning. Thank you very much to all of the division directors that came together to host this combined training. And thank you also for also inviting me to facilitate. I would not start without recognizing some of the people that we see as our parents here in Toastmasters. And looking through the grid of pictures in front of me, I see Mommy Aish Moju here. It's good to see you, ma. And it was also good to see you the last time that we saw. Thank you very much for coming around. I would also want to recognize one of the people I see as my first teacher in Toastmasters, and that's Distinguished Toastmaster RSB. A lot of the times when people ask me about things in Toastmasters, and they ask me, how do you come to know so much about Toastmasters? One of the things I mentioned to them is that, well, I took advantage of trainings like this. And I remember very well that Distinguished Toastmaster Rashida Saliu Bello was one of the first facilitators that I came across at Toastmasters. So thank you very much, Mama. Thank you. It's also an honor to now stand in front of you as a facilitator. But that's what they say about the mouse. Like when the mouse grows old, it depends on its kids. Thank you very much for bringing us up. I also see a lot of our presidents, a lot of my friends here. I see Distinguished Toastmaster Winston Eputsu. It's good to have you around here, sir. Distinguished Toastmaster Winston and I go way back, and I think that we connect very well politically in Toastmasters. It's good to see you here. Without wasting much time, I would want to dive into the topic of this morning. And the topic that we're discussing this morning is something I'm very passionate about, and that's membership engagement and retention. So one of the things that we are going to face as leaders in Toastmasters is creating new clubs. A lot of us may be members of the executives of our clubs, but when you come into Toastmasters, you come as a member, and we expect that you transition into being a leader. And of course, being a leader does not mean that you hold an office within your club. It simply means that you have responsibilities. So we expect that you come in and you become a mentor to a new member, you become part of the public relations team, you become part of the education team, then possibly you transition into becoming an executive of the club, and hopefully you move on to the area, to the division, to the district, to the region, then you go into international. But you see, having a new member is not the most difficult thing. starting a new club is not the most difficult thing. And I know about this because I actually started a couple of clubs. And starting a club would usually take you between 12 to 24 months to start. But again, that is not the difficult part of the journey. The difficult part of the journey is sustaining the new members that have come to your club or sustaining the new club that you have created. And this morning, we're going to be looking at some of the strategies with which we can use to sustain our members by engaging them and retaining our members. If you have any challenges, please, there are people that have been designated as co-hosts on this call. Please reach out to them and mention your challenges to them, and hopefully they will be able to solve these challenges that you have. This morning, again, I'll be having a blend of my experience as a Toastmaster and what I would call a leader, and the manual that has been given to us by Toastmasters. So I'd want to play a whole lot more on my experience, because I think that as District 94, we may have peculiar circumstances that may not be the same as across the world, as I have seen. So our agenda for this morning is simple. We are going to be looking at how to retain our members. And more importantly, we'll also be looking at how to engage past members. What are the things that we can do to engage past members? And the objectives, again, are simple. Strategies to retain our members and strategies to develop, to engage past members. So this would be as interactive as possible. Unfortunately, I think that we're so much, so we can't go into breakout rooms. So I'll engage us to please put in our chats in the chat box. And the first question I'm going to ask is, what brings people to Toastmasters? Do not take this so far, because it may be difficult to know what brought the person seated virtually beside you to Toastmasters. As a Toastmaster yourself, what was the thing that brought you to Toastmasters? How did you get invited? How did you find out about Toastmasters? I want us to please put these in the chat box. I'll also go through the list of participants and just call on people randomly to please unmute themselves. Please confirm if people are able to unmute so that they would be able to just share. All right, so I see a couple of responses. Some were invited by colleagues, some saw it via the website. Some wanted to improve their public speaking skills, which is norm. Via the Toastmasters website, via a Google search, to fill up a communication gap for pursuit of self-development through a colleague. Beautiful. I see several reasons why a couple of us joined. And a lot of these reasons are not new to me. If you have served as VP membership, when I was serving as VP membership at Lighthouse Toastmasters, one of the things I did at every meeting that we had, and we had new members, was to ask them, what do you hope to achieve? Why exactly did you join? And a lot of the reasons I'm seeing here are some of the reasons why people actually came to Toastmasters. My reason was slightly different because I was invited by a friend who thought that Toastmasters was the place to toast women. And it was at the time when we were looking for our missing ribs. So we thought to come do some toasting. But then, before I actually came to Toastmasters for the first time, I remember that I attended a conference at Sheraton. It was a telecommunications conference, and I was working with a consultancy then. We're working with the regulator to put one of the big telecommunications companies in check. So in our pre-conference meeting, we had said everybody was going to go against this one company that was holding the whole of Nigerian telecommunications industry to ransom. And so at that conference, one of their staff was meant to present. And so remember I said that we all went with the perception that we wanted to just hold this company down. By the time this gentleman finished presenting, those of us that were supposed to be his enemies actually gave him a standing ovation. Like, we forgot that we were supposed to tackle him, tackle his company, tackle everything about them. And then we just stood up and started giving this guy an applause. I remember very well that day. After his presentation, he went to the restroom, obviously to go recuperate and splash water on his face. And so I walked to the gentleman and asked him, how did you learn to do what you just finished doing? Well, the gentleman told me, well, I didn't really do anything serious. It was just teamwork. I worked with my team, and it was just the effect of teamwork. Well, a couple of weeks later, I saw this gentleman at Lighthouse Toastmasters. So I walked up to him again, and I told him, do you remember me? He said, no, I don't remember you. I said, okay. Do you remember that you did a presentation at Sheraton on about some weeks ago? He said, oh, yes, I remember, yes. Do you remember the guy that came to meet you at the restroom? He said, yes, I remember. Okay. I was that guy that came to meet you, and I asked you, how did you learn to become this excellent? You told me that it was teamwork, but now I see that it's not just teamwork. And what this told me was that people can join Toastmasters because they want to improve their communication skills. People can join Toastmasters because they want to improve their public speaking skills. People can join Toastmasters because they want to overcome their fear of public speaking. People join for several reasons. To retain your members, you must be able to dish to them the hunger that brought them to Toastmasters. The meal that they wish to feed on, you must be able to serve to them at your club. And our next slide is going to show us a survey done by Toastmasters International, which it was done last year, and it showed the reasons why people actually became members of Toastmasters. And if you look to the right, you see that building confidence for public speaking was the largest reason why people joined Toastmasters. It said that the fear of public speaking is like the largest fear that people have. As a matter of fact, when people are being invited to speak at a funeral, people prefer to be the corpse in the coffin than being the person giving the eulogy. And this is normal because we're all humans. As our souls just is not comfortable with public speaking. Unfortunately, this is a skill that is inbred within us that we can develop on. And that's why it's actually important that we are able to deliver this service to our members. Members must be able to improve their public speaking skills when they join us. We see again that to become a more effective speaker is also another reason why people actually come to join Toastmasters. People want to improve their public speaking skills. They want to become effective speakers. So we must be able to deliver this to our members. See this as customer service. You have customers and they have needs. You must be able to deliver the needs that your customers have to be able to retain them. The next one is improved presentation skills. And I can tell you that I actually saw this happen. One of our members in Lighthouse Toastmasters works for one of the international oil companies. And this lady would just come to meeting. We joined at around the same time. And at around the time when I was an area director, and that was about 4 or 5 years after I joined, this lady had not finished her 10 speeches. And that was just because she was fine with just coming to the meeting, enjoying the meeting, sitting down. But I was able to get close to her, and I was able to find out why exactly she was not giving her speeches. And then I realized that, well, what she actually wanted to learn was not just giving speeches. What she wanted to learn was improving presentation skills, because she was getting to a stage in her career where she needed to begin to present to top management, and she wanted to understand how she was going to do that. But she did not see the 10 speeches communication track as giving that to her. So because I was able to interface with her one-on-one, I think I was able to let her understand how those 10 speeches would serve as a stairwell for her to get to that improved presentation skills that she wanted to get to, without looking at it as icebreaker, getting to the point, vocal variety, and things like that. I let her understand that all of these are just small parts of the chips that would make the total of the wall. So improved presentation skills can also be one of the reasons why members want to join our clubs. And then we also see improved leadership skills as one of the reasons why people would actually want to come join Toastmasters. Of course, this may not be something that is very profound, because nobody would come and say, well, I'm joining this club because I want to become the leader, or I want to become a president, or I want to become a mentor. But these are some of the things that we have to find out as club leaders. And one of the ways that you will find out somebody who wants to improve their leadership skills would be when you see people that are always willing to serve. People that are willing to serve are people that have shown a clear path that they want to become a leader. So these are some of the things that we need to watch out for. Another is professional goals. Some people join Toastmasters because they want to improve their professional goals. They want to meet other people in their profession. And we see this a lot in the people who serve as communication strategists, people who serve as PR experts. They want to find the best, the best practices in their field of endeavor. And it's quite funny because not all of us in the Toastmasters cycles are public relations experts. But because of the training that we've had, we just know that some things need to be done in certain ways. And we see a couple of professionals come join the clubs because they want to actually improve these skills. For some other people, it's actually that their skill does not encourage soft skills. And I talk about people like the lawyers, people like the engineers. So lawyers, for instance, can be very argumentative because they would usually see things from, from an angle. People like engineers, for instance, are not designed to speak with humans. They're designed to speak with machines. So it's actually difficult for them. So they could be very brilliant up there. They could know their onions, but it could be very difficult for them to communicate these ideas that they have to humans. And that could also be one of the reasons why some people like that come to join Toastmasters. And when I talk about these professional goals, I talk about people like those in the software industries, those are the computer engineers, those are the mechanical engineers, those that work on the oil rigs. These people usually do not know how to communicate with other humans, and they just want to learn that in the professional environment. We also see that some people want to improve their fluency. And again, like I had mentioned earlier on, public speaking is a lot of work, and it's something that naturally people are scared of. People like to shy away from it. So some people just join Toastmasters because they want to improve their fluency. Some join Toastmasters because they want to build their social connections. Social connections in terms of some people just don't know how to engage socially. They don't go to parties. They would rather be in professional environments. And this could actually be one of the best professional environments that you can be, both professional and social. And then others want to network with others. One of the reasons why I stayed in Toastmasters was that I thought that I had access to an excellent network. At every meeting I went to, I met people who I felt would be useful for me in my career. Matter of fact, a lot of the successes I've had in my career was built due to the relationships I had in Toastmasters. And I believe that we'll talk about that later on. And then for some other people, they actually want to develop motivational strategies. They want to just be motivational. They want to be able to speak and have everyone get inspired. And then for some people, it's actually to prepare for a specific speech that they want to give. The lady I was talking about earlier on, what actually brought us very close together was that I got to engage her and mentor her when she was going to give presentations to management. So we had to meet every other week, and she would present to me. I'll chip in some feedback, and I think that after about 3 months when she did those presentations, the difference was very clear in a public speaking career within the organization. So these are some of the reasons why people actually come to join Toastmasters. Now, the question that I would want to ask is, out of these reasons that we have listed, which do you think your club does the best? I would want us to respond via the chat box. Of all these reasons that people join Toastmasters, which of them do you think your club does the best? Which of these member goals do you think that people can come to your club and achieve easily? Please, let's put that in the chat box. And also, as my experience, while I wait for us to put this in the chat box, in my experience, when people call me that they want to join a club, I just would ask them, what do you expect from a club? Is it just to improve your public speaking skills? Or do you also want to network with people? Where are you in your career? Are you someone that's a C-level executive? Are you someone that's an entry-level executive? Are you someone that's mid-career executive? Because all of these should also determine the kind of club that you would belong to. Looking at our clubs, I see that our clubs have different personalities. And I usually would tell people that it's best that you join the club that aligns the best with your personality. A club like Business School Netherlands, for instance, you can easily assume the kind of members that they would have. I'm pretty sure that half of their members would be MBA students who are mid-level or high-level executives already, wherever it is that they're working. So if that is the kind of people you want to network with, Business School Netherlands may be a good place for you to be in. I remember very well that I attended Eagle Toastmasters once, and I sat on a table with about 4 people. One of those people was a special advisor to a governor. And that painted a kind of picture of what the membership of that club would look like to me. In my own club, Lighthouse Toastmasters, we have a lot of young change makers, young innovators, young startup owners. And I think that's part of the reasons why I stayed in Lighthouse, because the network there was just perfect for me. So these are some of the things that we want to look at when people are coming to our club. What kind of membership do we offer to them? And how do we get them to stay? So I'll go through the chats that we have. So I see build confidence for public speakers, become a more effective speaker, build confidence in public speaking. Right. So understandable. A lot of people would want to join because they want to improve their confidence in public speaking. And that can actually point a problem in your club. When I was VP membership in Lighthouse Toastmasters, one of the things I noticed was that we had a membership life cycle of 6 months. And I see a number of Lighthouse Toastmasters members here. When I say Lighthouse, please, I mean Lighthouse and Lighthouse Prestige, because both of them are sister clubs. I noticed that our life cycle for members is 6 months. And I thought to do some research. Why would someone come to this awesome, to me, Toastmasters was the next best thing after fried rice. So why would somebody come to this wonderful place and after 6 months, they stop coming? And then I realized that a lot of these people actually just want to build confidence for public speaking. So look through your membership list. And that was one of the innovations I brought to Lighthouse Toastmasters. So when I came in as secretary of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club, I had a dashboard. This dashboard contained the list of everybody that came to our meetings. So if you stepped into our meeting at the period when I was secretary of Lighthouse Toastmasters, I had your name listed down. I went a step further. I also had attendance for every meeting. So if your mom or your dad paid your membership dues and they wanted to know if you were coming to meetings, I would have been the best person for them to ask if you were actually coming to meetings. So I took attendance of everyone that came to our meetings. And I started just supposing how members were coming to meetings and how long they stayed as members of our club. And I realized that it was about 6 to 8 months. That was about the time with which they had finished their speech 5 in the traditional educational system. Speech 5 to speech 7, a lot of people stopped coming. And when I started asking around, I realized that this was because at that time, people had achieved the goals with which they came to Toastmasters to achieve. So they felt that there was no need for them to stay any longer, which is fine. People have reasons why they are coming to Toastmasters. So you can't hold anyone ransom and tell them to keep coming. But what it means also is that we cannot just teach people how to build confidence for public speaking and expect people to wait. We need to go a step further. A step further, like, how do they become a more effective speaker? Confidence for public speaking does not make you an effective speaker. You can stand in front of people and speak nonsense. You can stand in front of people and be insensitive. I'm currently in the US, and one of the things that I have learned here is that you don't call people he or she without confirming from them if they're actually he or she. Which has brought to my attention that, yes, you have to be more sensitive to what people want. You may not agree with it. You may not support it, but you have to respect people for what they think that they are. What this means is that people can have the confidence to speak in public, but they may not be an effective speaker. In one of the clubs that I co-founded, if I can call it that I sponsored to start, whilst we were going through the rigors of starting the meetings and getting new members, I invited one of the division leaders to come speak to them. So when this division leader spoke, after speaking with them, they came to meet me and they told me, please, we don't want you to invite that person here again. Then I asked, why? This person is an awesome person. This person is very supportive. And then they said that the way the person related to them by saying a certain phrase, all of you, they were not satisfied with it. Now, I know that this person that they don't want to come to their club again is very important for their club, because this person was going to give them a lot of support that I may not be able to give to them. But it may also be that this person needs to improve in, so yes, this person is able to speak confidently in front of an audience, but is this person an effective speaker? So that would be another level that we need to take that person to. And I had a discussion with that person that said, of course, not telling them that this was coming from this club, but telling them that, okay, so if you want to speak with people, it may not be so right to tell them all of you, especially when you have elderly people in the room. So as a club, we must be able to transit from just teaching people, and I use teaching guidedly, to build confidence for public speaking, to becoming a more effective speaker. They are different. And then we must also give people the opportunity to improve their presentation skills. We must give people the opportunity to improve their leadership skills. How do we give people the opportunity to improve their leadership skills? As a club, does our club know that some of their officials are attending a training on their behalf currently? We need to communicate this to our club members. We need to celebrate the people that have come to these trainings. Do we have a newsletter that we send to our members to say, during this weekend, these club officers attended this club officers training? And what this means is that they are going to be more poised to deliver better services to you. We must give our members also the opportunity to lead. When I was president of Lighthouse Toastmasters, so one of the challenges that we had in Lighthouse Toastmasters back then was that, well, it wasn't much of a challenge, it was a social challenge. We usually wanted to have our change of guard in a top restaurant, or in a top hotel. Oriental Hotel was our go-to place. And I realized that because we're doing this change of guard at top restaurants, it was quite expensive. The ticket was expensive. Because remember, I mentioned that in Lighthouse, we had young people who were maybe running startups and trying to find their feet. So they're paying their membership dues, but I didn't feel that they would want to spend so much on dinner parties and all of that. And they're very expensive. I also did check around and I saw that in our dinner parties, we usually would have a plan for maybe 30 people. And out of that 30, we'd have to invite the division, the district, the area people. And so half of them would come free of charge because we can't charge them. You can't invite the area director to the dinner, and then you charge them for coming to your dinner. So basically, our members were paying, but our members were not benefiting from the dinners that we're having. And so I got a couple of people together. I remember Toastmaster Ifan, Yomoike, Toastmaster Kola, a couple of people, and told them, what can we do to have an excellent change of guard that's going to be way cheaper and will still give us the quality that we used to have? And these people who were sort of unknown within the club came up with an excellent proposal that instead of us going to a high-level hotel that we would have to pay so much for dinner and have so few people, why can't we rent a hall, get a top-class chef to provide meals for us, and have our party? I'm happy to mention to you that based on the recommendations and implementations of these people I put together, instead of having about 30 people, I think at the first change of guard that we did, we had close to 120 people. And remember that about 15 or 20 would come from the divisional area. So what this meant was that about 100 of our members and their guests, of course, came. So if we assume that each member came with an additional guest, what that would mean is that we had about 50 members that attended that change of guard ceremony. It was the largest that we ever had. It was also the most fun change of guard that we also had, because I know that the people that owned the hall had to send us away from the hall. Unlike our past change of guards that once dinner was done, everybody just took their leave. This one, food finished, music was blasting, people stayed back. Like when they sent us away from the hall, we were outside just networking, enjoying ourselves. And I think I got home at around past midnight that day. So we must give our members the opportunity to thrive. We must give them the opportunity to lead the club. It's a very important goal that we want our members to achieve. The next one is the professional goals. Again, people would join for several reasons, and you must be able to reach those reasons why they have joined. Professional goals is one of them. And I think one of the ways that we can achieve this is to have an effective mentoring program. Believe you me, the president alone cannot meet all 20 members of the club. Even the VP education and the VP membership may not be able to do all of these. So we want to create an effective mentorship program that would make it easy for people to have friends within the club. You see, one of the things that also kept me in Lighthouse Toastmasters was the fact that when I joined the club, I got someone who served as my mentor, but translated from just being my mentor to being a very good friend and a business partner, if I can call him that. We did a couple of business together. So what this meant was that aside from being my mentor in the Toastmasters Club, he was also available to help me achieve my professional goals. I remember one of the businesses that we did together, I was serving as technical advisor for a project, and we ran to a logjam. I needed technical advice. I reached out to him, and he was willing to support me. Now, if I was going to pay for the service that he was going to give to me, I would have been paying around 6 to 7 figures to him. But guess what? Because of our relationship, this gentleman did not collect a dime from me. I think what I can say I paid to him, when he even came to my house to offer this service to me free of charge, I think the only thing I can say I owed him was the drink that he had in my house. Aside from this, nothing. Now, tell me why I would not want to keep going to such a club that I am achieving that I'm getting such support from. So it's very important that we put in strategies to help our members achieve their professional goals. If there is somebody who is a top-class communicator, let that person come. And your trainers do not have to come from outside all the time. You don't have to get someone from the district, from the division. If you have people within your club that are experts in a certain field, get them come over to come train you. If you have people who understand financial literacy, let them come over to come train you. If you have people who understand healthy living, I mean, that was one of the first things I remember Mami Aish would do for. Healthy living. Let them come over to come train you. One of the first people that came to train in my local club then was DTM Rex and wife. And one of the things that they came to train us on was pronunciation. These are things that normally when people go to train on outside, they would pay a lot of money for it. And we must also remember that training, I mean, one of the things that we will deliver in the Toastmasters Club is not just training, but also a friendly environment for people to thrive. So these are some of the things that we can offer to our members to keep them and make them stay. Build social connections. How do you ensure your members socialize? When I came in as president of Lighthouse Toastmasters, one of the things I planned to do, we did a bit, but we didn't do to my satisfaction, was trying restaurants. So most of the times, and Lighthouse was very social, believe you me. Especially if you came to Lighthouse during the time when we were in the Cisco building, in the Mask building in VI. After our meetings, so we would have 2 meetings, first from 10 to 12, the other from 12:30 to 2:30. But I assure you that maybe because of the ambience of the Cisco office, maybe because we had access to free coffee and snacks, also I think because we had awesome members in our club, people were still going to be at Cisco office till 5 p.m., till 6 p.m. Why? Because we had access to a wonderful network. There were people that we were able to reach out to and network with, which I think improves your professional goals, but also would build social connections. Remember the guy I mentioned just earlier on that served as my mentor and also helped me with my business? I was also able to connect with him socially. And so when I came in as president, I thought that it was important that we went a step higher. And what I wanted us to do was to have evenings, Saturday evenings, where we could just come around. We're not going to be doing the Toastmasters pledge or promise. We're just going to be coming around as friends. We look for a restaurant in town. We go test that restaurant, have our meals there. And the first one that we had, one of our members she worked with the British Embassy then, and I think she was moving from Nigeria. She was moving back to the UK. That sort of served as a sent forth ceremony because it wasn't planned, but hey, this lady was going to be leaving Nigeria next week. And then she is here. So it was a sent forth for her. We gave her gifts. And believe you me, this lady, she's now in Ghana. The last time I was in Ghana, she was willing to even host me. And we're still very good friends till date. So we must have a social plan to engage our members. Sometimes these our club meetings may just be too serious. People are being careful. They're watching out for the pulse fillers. They're watching out for the grammarian. They don't want to make mistakes. Let's have a time out when you can forget all of those and just be relaxed. And I remember it very well as area director, Area 18, we did have a beach party. I'm not sure we've had any Toastmasters beach party after that. But that beach party was also very awesome. We had 4 clubs come together to just enjoy ourselves. And then we began to see the skills that people had, people that knew how to sing, people that knew how to play suwe, people that knew how to play Ludo. It was just beautiful. So it's important that we build social connections with our members. These are some of the things. So for some people, they are not coming because of public speaking. They're not coming because of effective communications. They're not coming because they want to improve their leadership. They're coming because they just want to connect. Some people already have a busy life. They have so much responsibilities. They just want an intellectual place where they can go relax. And I see DTM Matthew Marka, this call. I remember that I think he was one of the people that started the Pidgin English meeting in Lighthouse Toastmasters. where you come to Lighthouse and TM Abubakar, okay, why you didn't join earlier? Because when I mention Lighthouse, please, I'm talking about Lighthouse and Lighthouse Prestige. When you came to Lighthouse, and for that day, there was no speaking of big grammar. All we were speaking was pidgin. Let's move ahead. And I think it was Division F that did it in the last session, where we had an indigenous language meeting where people came and spoke their local languages. Let's have more of those. Let's be more creative about these things. Let's not just even have our meetings in our meeting venues. Let's switch meeting venues. Let's look for a coffee shop, go have our meeting there. Let's look for an hotel and go have our meetings here. Let's have things that people will remember for a very long time. These are some of the things that would stay in the minds of members. And these are some of the ways that we can even get to build new members. Very important. I see that my time is flying and I need to move on. All right, so we have done this already. You've spoken to me about what you think your club does best. Normally we would have done a presentation, but again, we're too much, so we're not able to go into breakout rooms. So I'll quickly just move on to how we can retain our members. So like I mentioned earlier on, when you start a new club, building your club is not the most important thing, because yes, it's critical, but sustaining that momentum is the most important thing. And one of the things I tell club officers is, when you start your club, the required number of members should be 20 members. But please don't stop at 20 members. Because remember the pie chart we saw earlier, you would always have a turnover of members. No matter how beautiful your club is, you would have turnover. People would move on with their lives. People would, well, now we have the virtual meetings, but for me, for instance, I've not been very active in Lighthouse for about 2 years. And why have I not been active in Lighthouse? I've not been active in Lighthouse because I have a lot more responsibilities in the district. So now I think I belong to no one and I belong to everyone. And I have to attend club meetings across the West African district. So it makes me very busy that I do not have time for my local club. But guess what? I feel invested in the Lighthouse family. Why do I feel invested in the Lighthouse family? Because I sort of have a connection with them. And this connection comes from the club officers giving me updates on what's going on within the club. Whether I attend the meetings or not, I have an idea of the new members that came. I have an idea of the people that paid their membership. I get invited to the executive meetings. And when I'm able to attend, I get updates of the meetings. So this sort of makes me feel like I owe the club my dedication. So despite the fact that I am far away from the club, I still feel very near. So it's very important that we design strategies to retain our members, and not just retain our members, to also re-engage members that have not been coming for a very long time. As Secretary of Lighthouse Toastmasters, one of the things I championed was our newsletter. And I remembered very well then, I started using MailChimp to send newsletters to members. One of our members had transitioned to a new job in Abuja. But because she was on the mailing list, she kept getting updates of the club meetings, who was best speaker, the successes of the club, and all the exciting things that was happening at the club. Guess what? This lady sent me a personal email and said she feels guilty. And at first I was very scared. Why would somebody feel guilty that I'm sending updates? So I responded to her. Toastmaster Ifeoma, I'm sorry I'm making you feel guilty, but why do you feel guilty? And she said now she understands what she's missing by not coming to the club meetings. And then I got relieved that, okay, I wasn't making her uncomfortable. But the fact was that because of that step that was taken to send the newsletter out to members, to celebrate people that have done their speeches, people that have done their icebreakers, people that have done 10 speeches, people that have gotten halfway within the 10 speeches, it actually connected with somebody who was not in the club. What this means is that as members, we must put in strategies to engage people that have left our club. How do we put in these strategies? When we have social events, you want to invite them to such events. One of the things I did as president of Lighthouse Toastmasters when we were having a change of guard was to ensure that all of our past presidents got an invitation to attend the change of guard event free of charge. What does this do? Whether they're able to come or not, this makes them feel respected. One of the things that you can do to retain members would also be to recognize their successes. Just this past weekend, one of our members in Lighthouse Toastmasters is hosting, well, she hosted and she served as keynote speaker at the Women in LPG. LPG is liquefied LPG, liquefied petroleum gases. Like, so she ran a non-profit that focused on women in the oil industry, and she served as a facilitator and keynote speaker at the conference that they had just this past weekend. And guess what? I saw that members of Lighthouse Toastmasters actually went to attend that meeting. Some of the people that attended this meeting, they do not know anything about LPG, but they went to attend as a moral support for this person. And the flyers of the event was shared within the club by club officers. So this is not people spamming the club group with their flyers or whatever it is, but there should be a part with which possibly members that have important things to do can send to the VP membership, and then the VP membership can send to the club group to say, oh, our member is going to be speaking at this conference. Please, let's go support this member. I'm very sure that this person I'm talking about will feel proud that people that she trusts actually attended such a meeting. One of the things I also saw her do was that she actually sent, of course, a public message to, I think, the club president to say, I'm going to be using this as my speech, so I want an evaluation after the speech. These are some of the things that we can do to keep people in our club. I see that the red light is up, and unfortunately, like this year, RSB said, time flies when you're catching fun. I wish that we could go further, but unfortunately, I would have to step down from the virtual lecture now. I wonder if I have time for questions. Madam Timekeeper, do I have time for questions?
Oh, you have just about 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right.
Yes.
I don't think that 30 seconds will be enough time for questions then. So I'll use that to quickly round up my session. So in 10 seconds, let me also talk about why members will not renew. I was talking about it earlier on, that one of the reasons why members will not renew is because they had achieved what they've come to Toastmasters to achieve. Another very important reason why members will not renew may also be that members did not meet the reasons, the goals that they came to Toastmasters to achieve. If a member wants to come to your club because they want to improve their public speaking skills, and your club is not able to deliver that, I assure you that that member will leave. What this means is that we want to go back to our moment of truth to see that our clubs align with the moment of truth. It's very important, and this would be my parting shot this morning. Thank you very much for listening with me. I'm going to just hold on to the meeting for maybe about another 30 minutes. If you have questions, you can shoot them to me privately, or you can put them in the chat box, and I am going to be very happy to respond to them. So thank you very much for listening to me once again, and I will hand over back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Modupe Badiru. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished. Obviously, that distinguished part, it didn't come easy. It wasn't dashed. They didn't dash you, sir. Very, very brilliant delivery. Thank you. Very practical as well. Please, if you know you've learned something, you've been blessed by this session, quickly put it in the chat box. The key thing, your takeaway from this session, so that DTM Kayode Yusuf can see the impact that he has had on us this afternoon. DTM Kayode, people are asking for your slides. Please kindly oblige through the admin. Thank you very much. Great session. Thank you. My own question, my own takeaway is, What hunger are you supposed to feel? What hunger is your club supposed to feel? Thank you very much. To keep to time, we'll move on very quickly. Now, for the next session, please, Madam Timer, give us 2 minutes. Kindly rename yourself. The next session is a breakout session. You have to go to the breakout room that is related to your role. So please, right now, rename yourself along this line. Your position, for example, president, and then your name, for example, Buhari, then your club, Nigeria. So please quickly rename yourself immediately, your position, president, your name, Buhari, your club, Nigeria. That will help in the alignment in sending you to the right breakout room for our next session. Thank you very much, DTM Kayode Yusuf. And by the way, now I know what your favorite food is. It's a subject for another day. Okay, that's fried rice, I guess, because that's what you mentioned. Thank you very much. In moving to our next session, please, I hope we are renaming ourselves. Toastmaster Efobi, your renaming is still skewed. Please put your position first, president, your name, Buhari, your club, Nigeria. Thank you. It will help the admin and the Zoom master to please send you to the right breakout room, because the very next session is a breakout session. Thank you very much. Very quickly, I'd like to introduce the facilitators for the next sessions. So the next session is about club officer roles. And I remember when I joined Toastmasters, I was assigned secretary. I wasn't trained. Unfortunately, the COT that came immediately, I was assigned secretary of the new club. On my way to that meeting, I broke my leg, my ankle. So I could not even attend the COT. So we are blessed to have the opportunity to learn how to play our roles perfectly. And this next session is going to be about that. I hope we are renaming ourselves as I speak. So to facilitate the role of president, we have Toastmaster. We have two Toastmasters, and they are both fathers of faith. I don't know how come the two Ibrahims are facilitating president. To facilitate the role of president today, we have, first of all, Toastmaster Ibrahim Gindo, who's been a Toastmaster since 1st of September 2019. He is the immediate past president of the San Pedro Toastmasters Club in Cote d'Ivoire. He's the Area 44 Director, Division A for this term. After completing dynamic leadership and entering his second path, which is engaging humor, he's completed dynamic leadership, which was his second path, which is engaging humor. He's a logistics and transport engineer. You would have to explain what engineer means. To me, because I don't speak French. Officer in the San Pedro port, and he lives at Ibrahim Gindo. He practices Taekwondo. We don't have that in common. And his personal quote is, whoever you are, whatever you think, whenever you plan, just do it. Like Nike. You're very welcome, Toastmaster Ibrahim Gindo. And the second facilitator for the role of president is Toastmaster Ibrahim Patoibo, who's a communication specialist and managing partner at iParadigm Consult. He owns an animal husbandry farm called Co-Magrix Farms, and he also offers consultancy services for those interested in farm business. He's the past president of Ikeja Toastmasters Club, and he's a public affairs and also a public affairs analyst. He's a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations at NIPR, the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ. He's an alumnus of the Faith Foundation Business School. He's an astute public speaker, a teacher, an activist, a serial entrepreneur, and a farmer. Please give the two Toastmaster Ibrahims a great Toastmasters welcome as the presidents are moved to the breakout room for president. Thank you very much. The next facilitators will be facilitating for the role of Vice President Education. If you are yet to rename yourself as specified, please do so you can be moved to the appropriate meeting room. Our first facilitator is Toastmaster Caroline McKinsey. She's an energy professional focusing on development of clean energy projects across Africa. She's a mentor of upcoming young professionals in the energy sector and has a passion for training and coaching. She joined Toastmasters in 2018 and has just finished her first pathway in effective coaching. She previously served as Vice President Education of the African Development Bank Platinum Toastmasters Club, and she's now the Club Growth Director for Area 35. Working with her will be Toastmaster Lansing Diabate. He is currently the Program Quality Director for Division L, Speech Contest Champion in French and English Pathways Expert. He is President of District 94 Pathways Expert Committee in 2019 to 2020. He was the president of that committee. He is the mentor, sponsor, and immediate past area director for Area 35 and the past president of Logos Toastmasters Club. Please give him a Toastmasters welcome as all Vice President Education are moved to their breakout room. You are very welcome. The next set of facilitators will be handling Vice President membership. DTM Matthew Omwaka, the thoroughbred information technology professional and business leader with expertise in technology sales, IT consulting, business development, and general management. Matthew is currently the group head international business in Vertebra Limited and a board member of Utica Capital. He has been a member of Lighthouse Toastmasters since 2015 and has held a number of high-profile leadership positions within Toastmasters. He has attained the Distinguished Toastmasters designation, the highest level of educational achievement in Toastmasters International. And I promise you, it is no mean feat to be a DTM. Working with him as facilitator is Toastmaster Nduke Usoro. She's a banker and a financial consultant. She's the immediate past president, Uyo Premier Speakers Toastmasters, and currently serves as the P Program Quality Director for Area 43. She's an ardent believer in faith, hope, and love. We agree together on that. She's got keen passion for leadership, and she believes leadership does not dwell in the crown, but in selfless service. She graciously serves as a wife and mother of three, and she's strongly rooted in family values. Please, a round of applause as the Vice President memberships get moved to their breakout room and to their facilitators. You're very welcome. To facilitate for Vice President Public Relations, we have Toastmaster Godwin Udu, who is a brand enthusiast and a senior motion designer with interest on how things move around on screens. He is passionate about breaking complex ideas into tiny, understandable bits, and I'm sure he will do his best as he facilitates for public relations. He currently works with the design and advertising company in Lagos and is a past president at Ikeja Toastmasters Club. He will be joined by Toastmaster Francis Mokolu, who is an experienced chartered accountant and a Toastmaster of many years. He's the immediate past area director for Area 18, past president of Seaside Toastmasters Club, and a Triple Crown Toastmasters Educational Award winner. He is a living witness to the quote, "It seems impossible until it is done," end of quote. He loves to wear a smile so the world can smile back at him. And when he's not balancing account, he loves to listen to alternative rock music. Wow, wonderful. You're very welcome, sir. Facilitating for Vice President, Public Relations. And for Treasurer, we have the delectable, admirable Toastmaster Bosede Oyekunle, who is the Chartered Engineer, an STEAM advocate, a leadership coach, wife, and mom. She joined Toastmasters in 2013 and has mentored and sponsored clubs, various clubs. She has held various leadership roles at club and area level as past president of Delta Africa Toastmasters Club, the premier corporate club in Nigeria, Area 17 Programs Quality Director, and presently the immediate past area director for Area 17. Her watchword is make every moment count. And I hope that all the treasurers have renamed themselves, making every moment count so they can be moved to the appropriate breakout room. Facilitation by Toastmaster Salif Mohammed, who is also an engineer and a project manager. He's a public speaking and influence coach. Toastmaster Salif voices so they can give their clients and target audience phenomenal experiences. He is presently the area 16 of Division F of the District 94. To facilitate the role of secretary, interestingly enough, Toastmaster Babatunde Ade, with a shining crown, will be facilitating alone. He's a graduate of and also holds an MBA. He's an Islamic finance professional experience. He is a thespian with several stage productions to his credit, directs and produces stage plays. I'm still waiting for him to cast me. He's the past president of Eagle Toastmasters Club, charter and immediate past Toastmasters Club, a triple-time Toastmaster Triple Crown Award, and the Area 17 director. He teaches consultative sales, customer service, and body language. He's a jocular performance orator, and he speaks to make a living. In one of those contests where he came in the Yoruba regalia, one, but certainly not the least, to facilitate for Sergeant at Arms, we have Toastmaster Shi, who is a leadership development professional and former Area 17 Club Growth Director. We'll be joined by Toastmaster John Onumiyan, Toastmaster since 2012. He's married with 2 children. He's the current area director for Area 8, president of Luminous Toastmasters Club. He is the past growth director, club growth director for Division Triple Crown winner. He's a network marketing expert. To read, dance, draw, play volleyball, and meet people. He's also an health freak. Very much. I hope we've all gone to our rooms. May I ask where IPPs and strict division members should join?
So division officers IPPs, area officers, you can indicate the room you would want to join in the chat box so that we can assign you to that room.
Thank you.
As I join in any room, just like
some people are still unassigned. Thank you very much for your feedback. Some people are still unassigned and the breakout room. Please kindly join, because if you don't put your role, you cannot, except all of us are area of, and then we can choose to join anyone that we like. Thank you very much. There should be one for area directors. Okay, so people are choosing where they would love. Toastmaster Aziz Okedbe Nro. Toastmaster assigned, not joined. And you've also appropriately. Can we all just rename ourselves? Can we rename to the breakout room you will want to join? Toastmaster Adebola and Toastmaster Chika Ubani and Toastmaster Dixon, kindly rename yourself to the breakout room you will want to join. Toastmaster Joyce Barida, Toastmaster Lamia Momo. Toastmaster Anna Doze should be with. Please kindly assign him to Sergeant at Arms. Stella Ene Ochono, please kindly indicate where you will want to go to. Please rename yourself to the breakout room you will want to join so it can be done immediately. Please kindly assign Toastmaster Francine Mbok and Chika Ubani to President. Also Toastmaster Olushino Ola Israel to President.
what's your name called? Ubon, is that President?
We still have a few people.
As you join, please.
Okay, Toastmaster Lamia Momo wants to go to VP membership. Please kindly indicate where you want to go. Toastmaster Austin, VPE. Toastmaster Vivian Epo, Mbongiyang. Okay. Toastmaster Mobolariwa should just go to VPPR. VP membership. Toastmaster Folashade Ajabi, I can't see your name. Please kindly rename yourself so you can be properly added, assigned. Toastmaster Senator for me, where do you want to be? And Toastmaster Joyce Barida. Toastmaster Austin, are you sure you're not somewhere else already? Okay. You're already in Vice President Education. Toastmaster Folashade, you've been assigned, but somehow you've not joined. I don't know. You're already in the breakout room for treasurer.
Ubong, where do you want to be assigned to? You did not rename yourself. We don't know what team you want to join. VP Secretary. Toastmaster Austin.
Toastmaster Winston, TTM Winston, which group would you love to join? Toastmaster Musa Jibrin, which breakout room would you want to join? So which breakout room do you want to join?
Leader.
Toastmaster Joyce, anyone you want to join?
Please, as you join, rename yourself or indicate in the chat box the group you want to join. Which of the club officers room would you want to join so that you will be assigned appropriately? Thank you.
Toastmaster Ijoma Onwe, Toastmaster Nelson Ayodele, and Toastmaster Wole Aderinko. Please, where would you love to be assigned? Can somebody confirm if the PPPR team is done? Toastmaster Mohammed Ikrama, please kindly indicate. Yes, Toastmaster Mohammed. I see your hand is raised. President, okay.
He has been assigned. Just accept the invite.
I noticed just now. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure we're fascinating time. Some people have refused to come back. They're still having a lovely. Welcome back, everybody back here now. Yes, I believe so. Oh, some people were not ready to close. Sorry. Keep to time. Apologies. But we gave warnings, we gave notice. It's actually time to go on a very quick break now. Madam Timer, how many minutes can we have? Madam Timer? Because we're not doing well on time. Madam Timer, how many minutes break can we have? Madam Timer, please. We should actually be in another session now, but I think we need a biological break. So, Madam Timer, how many minutes are you giving us?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
So the message is able to unmute yourself.
5 minutes.
Okay,
So we'll
I wasn't able to unmute myself. It just happened. So we can only afford about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. So should we be back here at 2:15? That's 3 minutes more.
Yes, please. 2:15 is perfect.
Let's be back
Yeah.
at 2:15. Let's have a
Yes.
biological break. And if you have a question from the first session, member attention, please kindly drop it in the chat box so it can be attended to while we prepare for the last session.
Madam CMOD. Okay, the questions are already coming in. So this means the facilitators. The questions, I think I see a question from the president. So the facilitators that anchor the president's group, please assist us to answer the question. Okay, this is a very interesting question. The president has a question about the tiring load of work. I believe the person seeks to know how to manage the responsibilities that comes with being a president of a Toastmasters Club and your other activities, your other commitments.
Yeah, I think somebody was responding to her before we were timed out. But okay, just to add to what the person was saying, that as a president, you have loads of work at Toastmasters apparently, and everything falls on the leader. But what they have been able to do, according to one of our presidents that spoke, was that you should learn to stratify and delegate duties. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. Thus, it's important that they said they have scheduled, okay, maybe VP membership, you will be the one organizing this month's meeting, and VP, you are going to be the one to organize this. And as such, all the load and burden wouldn't be on you as a president. It's just to build them. And if you look at the Toastmasters and how everything works, after going through all this VP education, VP membership, you are and secretary and everything, you are still going to emerge as president, hopefully. Those, when you give them those duties to perform, it's not out of place. It's just preparing them, because at Toastmasters is learning by doing. And we are all leaders at Toastmasters. So I think I should stop there. That's just delegate and just create a kind of a schedule or a chart that you'll be giving different executive member to perform and to organize the meeting. Thank you.
In addition, can I also add that it's important to encourage our ExCos to create subcommittees so that they can have help from other members to be able to facilitate their own roles, therein obviously reducing further the workload of the president.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. Yes.
Thank you very kindly, President Nima, and Master Facilitator, Toastmaster Ibrahim.
Yeah, that's right. All Ibrahim, my other facilitator, has said, as Toastmaster, we're going to be leader and not manager. As leader, you have to show the way. You don't have to do all the things by yourself. Toastmaster, I've been thinking about that. You have a team. You are going to manage a team, to lead a team. Then you have the VP education. You have to give a support for him. Toastmasters have been creating all items for us. Just don't be shy. We have to share experience. When you are confronted with difficulties, with issues, ask about, and the other will give you what have been done in their own clubs to find solution. You cannot stay in your own club and thinking about all solution. It's not possible. As leaders, we have to share experience. This is why this training session is very important for us. Please don't be shy. Ask questions to other president. We have former president. Chidi here today. She is the district director, but she has been shooting VP education or president. She has an experience. Ask her the question and we give you her own opinion, and then I think we'll grow together.
Thank you very much, our dear facilitators and Madam Division Director, for that session. Do we have any other questions very quickly before we go to the final session today? Any other question? None. So we can proceed. But if you still have questions, please feel free to post in the chat box. In the chat room, it will be attended to promptly. And finally, have you wondered how to build a healthy team? Have you ever thought about how can my team, how can it be healthy? How can we function? How can we achieve our dreams and our goals as best as we can as a formidable team? This afternoon, to take the session on building a healthy team is Toastmaster Winston Akpotu. Akpotu, pardon me, DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Winston Akpotu, who is, just a minute, he's currently, pardon me, I just got his profile. So he was Club Vice President membership for Unity Toastmasters Club, previously Club Growth Director, Area 13, Club President, Unity Toastmasters Club, Program Quality Director, Area 14, Club Growth Director, Division E, Director, Area 14, Program Quality Director from 2017 to 2018 as well. and he was also the Division E Director from 2018 to 2020. He's a two-time member of the District Leadership Committee for District 94, chair of the District 91st First Virtual International and Evaluation Speech Contest Planning Committee, and chair of District 91st First Virtual District Conference Planning Committee. Please welcome with me this afternoon to take us on how to build a healthy team, distinguished Toastmaster Winston Ekpotu. Round of applause for him, please.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Modupe. Thank you most kindly for the introduction, and very good afternoon to you, my fellow Toastmasters and friends. I will toe the line of the previous speaker to recognize some of our very good friends, some people that I have forged a relationship with, relationships that I hope will last a lifetime. I can see it was Master Lansine from, I think from Division A, if I'm not mistaken. We served together when we were planning the district's conference. I've also seen some members of Division F who are also very good friends of mine. It's a pleasure really to share my thoughts with you today. I know that I have 45 minutes, so I will try to be swift to complete the presentation in 35 minutes, and then we can take some questions and answers. And I would like the timer to prompt me at 30 minutes. This morning, or this afternoon, we will be talking about a healthy team. Now, this is something that I know most of us have thought about. I have a feeling that we're talking to officers here. Some of you will be serving for the first time in the club's executive committee. This would most likely not be the first time you would be playing a role in a team or working with a group of people. So this morning, I would also glean from your own experience and your knowledge as we go through the rest of the presentation. Now, my profile has been read. I often tell people that I have a Toastmasters career because when I joined Toastmasters in 2013, like many of you, all I wanted to do was just to learn how to speak. But before I knew what was happening, I was thrusted into the leadership part, and I have not turned back since then. It's been one role after another. So from all of these, I would also be sharing some of my personal experiences as I have gathered in the course of the my Toastmasters journey. Now, the objectives of this session has been designed by Toastmasters to allow us first identify the 5 traits of a team, a healthy team for that to be precise. The second thing that we would be doing is we would understand the individual behavioral styles. I call this the personality types that you will find in most cases, and there are different variations of these, but I'll be talking to us about 4 that you will find in every team. Time will not permit us to carry out the exercises that would allow you to know your dominant personality type, but we will talk about them generally, and I hope that we will all participate in that. We would also be analyzing your team's current state, as well as maybe the traits, if you like, that you currently have in abundance and what you need to work on. Again, time will not permit us to take you through the exercise, but I would encourage every team after this meeting to go back and do these exercises amongst yourselves. And finally, you would also be developing a plan on how you can build a healthy team that is based on trust in your own executive committees. Are we together? So I like people to just type out their views. When you think of the term healthy team, what comes to mind? Think back as to when you were part of a team. Was that team healthy? What made your team healthy? I like to hear from you. I like to read from you. So please, let's get into the chat box and just type out what, in your view, makes a team a healthy one. Trust, honesty, openness, a formidable team, trust, yes. What else? Creative collaboration, okay? Team spirit, reliable, trust, effective collaboration, vulnerable based communication. So we see that every one of us has at some point in our lives worked with a group of people to achieve results, having the same vision, culture. So we talk about values there, being guided by the same set of values, being brought together by the same set of values, ready to learn and accept different opinions, understanding the individuality of each member, oneness of mind. Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Neoma. Balanced, well-functional, diverse team. So you all have actually made my job even much easier today because you have a very good understanding of what a healthy team should be like. It's a team. I often like to define a team not just as a group of people brought together to achieve a goal, or a group of people bound together by common values, or a group of people who are open to one another. I think of a team, in addition to all you have said, as a group of people that are driven by a common pressure. A common pressure. Now, the results and everything, what you end up achieving as a team has to be the collection of the individual results. But what is driving everybody towards achieving their own individual results is a common pressure. I attended the session with the club presidents, and the facilitator was talking about how his team achieved a handful of things, including the President's Distinguished Award. Now, for that award to have been achieved by that club, every member of the executive committee had their own roles to play. The vice president membership tried to ensure that he would close guests and convert them to members. The vice president membership would also encourage members to pay their dues on time. His results, his goal, achieving his own objective will add to that of the vice president's education, who is checking to see that people are giving their speeches, are playing their roles to get the club the required number of educational points. So everybody is being driven by their individual goals, but there is a common pressure that is pushing everybody towards the mark. And the mark in the case of the club is to stand out, is to be a reference point, is to empower the members to achieve their goals, is to build competent communicators, effective leaders. The DCP points and the award is just a byproduct of everybody coming together to achieve their goals. So we have talked about the healthy team, and you all have given your contributions. Now let's look at the first foundation, which is from a book by Patrick Lencioni on the 5 dysfunctions of a team. We talk about trust, and a handful of us have typed trust as a trait of a healthy team. So I'd like to ask us now, why is trust important in a team? Please, let's type something out there. Why is trust important in a team? Come on now, don't go up on me, please. I'd like someone to type something. Why is trust important in a team? It's the bedrock of openness. Yeah? Removal of barriers to performance. Yeah? You can only work with people, okay? Knowing your team members have got your back. Trust gives you peace of mind. Exactly. Now, if we look at the picture we have on the screen, does this really depict trust? does this depict trust? And why do you think this man is so comfortable to have? It's a dangerous trust. Why do you think he's so comfortable to have a tiger? It doesn't depict trust. Interesting, okay. Familiarity. Trust in a team, it's about openness, as some of us have said. It's about, to a very large extent, familiarity. It's about having people, knowing that people have got your back. It's about being vulnerable. In a team, when are locked up, when people are locked up, when people are afraid of making mistakes, it is almost impossible for you to achieve the results that you have set out, because everyone will be what we call forming. Everyone will be at that stage where they are trying to impress one another. And like some of you have said here, trust really depends largely on vulnerability, being able to be vulnerable to yourself. So as we go through, I like us to also think about our respective teams and maybe ask ourselves certain questions. How well are members allowed to make mistakes in the team? And are they heavily criticized for these mistakes? Are members heavily criticized when they make mistakes? Do we berate members for their inability to bring their best? These are things that limit the ability or limit trust in the growth of trust in a team. And that in itself makes the accomplishing the task or accomplishing results almost impossible. So I would encourage us as we go back to sit back and go through a series of questions that we'll be posting at the next couple of slides to ask yourselves and find out how you can improve on that element of trust. Now, the next trait of a team is healthy conflict. Healthy conflict. When you have been able to trust yourselves to an extent, it makes it a bit easier for you to first understand, as some of us have said here, the individuality, the individual opinions. When you look at this picture, you have two people on either side seeing things differently. Why do you think they are seeing things differently? Why do you think they're seeing things differently? Why is it a 6 on one side and a 9 on one side? Different points of view. In some cases, you would have different perspectives, different positions. For some people, it's a different stage of growth. So you find that in a team, it's often said that conflict is not a bad thing. But when conflict goes unresolved, then it's a problem. But when you have the element of trust amongst your team, you will understand that this person sees this thing from this perspective because this is where he or she is stuck at. You will not be quick to dismiss that person. You will not be quick to dismiss the views of that person. You will actually recognize where the person is coming from. Try to see things from that point. Try to get the person to see things from your point of view. And together you would achieve the results that you need. So in a team, healthy conflict is extremely important. A team has to be healthy and successful. The third is commitment. And when we look at commitment, it's the people in the team agreeing to do something and following through. Now, how do you build commitment in your team? As club officers, so far, and maybe the presidents can also share on the chat how they have been able to get a buy-in from their respective members and how they've been able to bring these people to stay committed to achieving the goals of the club. The club presidents here, have you found that your members, for those of you who have very committed members, allow people to make mistakes and don't chastise them, okay? What else can you do to build the kind of commitment that you need? Someone just mentioned, a question was asked as to how you can get a balance between your work and Toastmasters, because it can be very daunting. And most times, it's even more daunting when people are not playing their roles. You show care to them. Yes, that's one. You treat your members with respect and show them you sincerely value their opinions. Exactly. Sometimes you also have to make them share their own view. Even though, as a club president, and I'll share an experience, when we were planning the first international speech contest for District 94, the first virtual one, as the chair of the committee, when the program policy director reached out to me, she had an idea of what she wanted the conference to, I beg your pardon, the contest to look like. And when we came together as a committee, I had that at the back of my mind. But what I did was I asked every member of the committee to kindly write down what they thought will be the best contest in terms of the participants, in terms of the, I beg your pardon, the number of spectators, that's the people that would actually attend, the speeches that will be delivered. We had everybody share with the rest of the team their own vision. And what we found, and you will find that even as you go along, yes, there will be divergent visions. You will have situations where people are thinking differently, but 85% of the people and 85% of the time, what people are thinking about, especially within the Toastmasters community, is the growth or the success of that particular venture. Either a committee assignment or as a club. The club officers all want the club to succeed, but they are thinking of their successes in different ways. If you are able to have them share their own views, and as the team lead, you are able to define something that brings together every view of each person, you would have had a buy-in of each individual in that team, and then they will be committed towards achieving the goal because they will feel as though their voices have been heard. They will feel as though the vision you are sharing is coming from them. And with that, you can actually get the commitment that you require from these people. They will not share their views if, first, there is no trust in the club, if there is no avenue for conflicts to be resolved in an amicable manner. If people don't feel safe enough to air their views, they can't even air the kind of views that would require them to be committed towards achieving those views. And when you have had these three, I will congratulate you because you are very close to getting to the last, getting to building that healthy team that you admire. The next point is accountability. Now, when everybody has committed to doing ABC, when the vice president membership has committed to sending out emails on a monthly basis to remind people to save up for their membership dues, or he is committed, or he has actually made a commitment to reaching out to all the guests that attend club meetings and having them sharing the benefits of Toastmasters to them. When everybody brings in their individual commitments to a team, it is a lot easier then and justifiable to ask them questions, to start holding them accountable, to ensuring that whatever promise, whatever commitment they have made, that they will hold on to that they would actually pursue that, and they would not feel terrible when you reach out to them to ask them of their progress. So again, without having them commit to that assignment or to that task, getting them or asking them why they have done A or why they have not done B will be quite difficult, because when you're asking, you may be met with resistance. So it's important that as a team, you work towards building trust, you work towards establishing a healthy, a comfortable zone for people to actually air their views and not feel berated. And then people should make commitments or people based on their views, they should make commitments towards a particular goal. And you should have a system that allows you to actually ask each individual, how well are you doing with this? As club president, we had a goal in Unity Toastmasters to charter a new club. And we asked ourselves, what will it take to charter a new club? We wanted to give birth to the club from our own club. So we knew we had to grow the membership base of our existing club. How do we do that? The vice president membership as well as the vice president's public relations had to work together. The public relations person had a task. At every meeting, let's have a minimum of 35 people in attendance, with more than half of that number as guests. So what that means is that we need to intensify our publicity efforts, and we have to be strategic at publicity. How do we publicize the meeting? And where are we going to publicize this meeting to bring in the people that will not just come to warm the benches, but actually join? And when these guests have come into the meeting, the membership team should be quick to share the benefits of Toastmasters and get them to join. Now, when they understood where each role and each person's task, when the assignment was clear, it was easier to ask at the end of every meeting, how many members did we have today? How many guests attended the meeting? And based on that, we were able to track the progress of the vice president membership as well as that of the vice president's public relations. Because they made a commitment and they understood their role, everybody understood that. Anybody could actually call them up to find out what's happening. VP membership, how many people have we converted this month? So it's important that we understand where each of these traits lie. And finally, results. And result comes for me in two folds. First, understanding, define the results. The club's success plan starts with current position and then target. Where are you going? When you don't define the results appropriately in the goal, and when the goal has been achieved, there should be celebration. Recognize the individuals who have made it happen, and above all, make them understand that their individual contributions made the team work. It made the results of the team achievable. When we have been able to put these things in perspective to a very large extent, your club would have achieved the result and your team would be defined as a healthy one. When a group of people come together, no matter how connected or united you are by values or by goals, when you don't achieve results, you can't be said to be a functional, healthy team. Do we have any questions so far? Any comments? Please keep them with you, and after the presentations, we will take them. Thank you very much. Yes, I am on 30 minutes already. Now, there is a leadership workbook that will be given to us. I would encourage everybody to take the time as a team to analyze where you are as a team. These questions would allow you to understand what traits you have that is working well for you and the ones that you need to improve on. I would encourage us to be very deliberate about it. This slide will show you, based on the responses you give, you will see where you score the highest. And from there, you will know the traits that you actually have and that is making the team function well, and the ones that you need to urgently work on before they begin to manifest through the work that you are doing. Now, let us move swiftly to one of the most critical things about a team, and that is the individual personalities, the various personality types that we have in a team. Now, there are several tests that you can take out there. There are several, we have a handful of them. The Toastmasters also recognizes the DISC model, but I like to use these vehicles to define personality types. And for me, it's proven to be one of the easiest and one that people can easily relate with. Time would not permit us to look at each of the questions or ask you to go through the questions to identify your personality type, but I'll briefly talk about each of the personality types we have here. And I will ask us questions as we go along. And it is my hope that everyone here will sort of place each member of your team in one or two of these. Now, no personality type is wrong. Every personality type is actually good. There is no one that you could say is a bad personality. The only thing is that some personality types thrive in certain conditions, in certain environments. And when you, as a member of a team, understand how the people in your team think and how they function and where they thrive, it will help you in how you relate with them. So let's look at these four vehicles. And let's start with the first, the Hummer. Now, when you think of the Hummer Jeep, where would you drive a Hummer? Where is the best place to go to with the Hummer Jeep? I'd like us to type something. If you have a Hummer Jeep, where is the best place to go to with a Hummer? What's it used for? What comes to mind? Desert trips, yeah? War-torn areas. The Hummer Jeep was, before it became a private vehicle, it was for difficult terrain, it was for the war, people for the mountains and all that. Now we have people who are like the Hummer Jeep. These are people that are achievement driven. These are people that can take on several tasks. These are people that people will call the kings of the road. These are people that are very decisive. These are people who, for lack of a better word, they signify power. When you see them, you see power, you see significance. These are people that are workaholics. Now, some people have a way of viewing these people, and I'll show you how people feel. These people they see life as a battle, and they are always competing. You have these people they are persistent. These people want people to serve them. These people are also driven by results. Now, some people will see these people as difficult people. Some people would see these people as arrogant people. Some people would see these people as headstrong people. Some people would see these people as ruthless people, as rude. But they see themselves as bold, as risk-taking, as determined people, as independent people, as outspoken people, as assertive people. Now, in the team, you will find that even in your club right now, I'm sure that you have at least one person with this kind of personality. Now, this person may not be your favorite person in the club, but you would agree with me that there are times when you need this personality to thrive. Sorry for that. There are times when you need this person. My chat box has disappeared. But there are times when you need this person to actually do something for you. There are times when you are looking for this kind of individual to drive the results. Now, I like some of us here to share with us. What role do you think someone with this kind of personality would play most successfully in a team? What role do you think someone with this kind of personality would play best in a team? I've got 5 minutes more, so I will list through the other ones, but I'd like us to know so much. Wow. Public relations, okay. VPE. Now, all of you are correct, but I would say personally, it depends on the club. it depends on the environment where the club is situated. Because these kinds of persons can sometimes drive everybody away from the club. Sometimes. Because where this person would be running up and down and thinking that, hey, for this person, success is let's do so many projects at the same time. For some other persons, I want to do it one at a time. So you will find in most cases that people who work with these kinds of people, if you are not someone who is up and doing, who is fast thinking, you may struggle with this kind of person. But let's go to the next item or person you see. We have another group of people who created convertibles. Now, these are the showmen within the team. These are the people who talk more and sometimes achieve less. These are the people who want to be recognized in everything they are doing. These are the people who love taking pictures. Now, they are not bad. They are not bad, but there are times when you would see them differently from how they see themselves. Now, how do they see themselves and how do you see them? For them, they are charming, they are convincing, they feel like they communicate well, they feel like they are talkatives, they feel like they are flexible. But other people see them as manipulative, as effusive, as illogical, as gossipers, as fast talking, as distractible. They see them as unfocused because they are here, they are tomorrow. So again, such persons, if I asked us, I'm sure we would have different views as to where these kinds of persons will fall in. It is important that everyone should be able to place every other person. Because when you can place the people on your team in these different categories, you can relate with them better. Now let's move on to the third one very quickly, the dependable truck. These are the guys with the large boots. These are the people who take things on. When you have to travel and you need to carry a lot of luggage, this is the vehicle for you. So where would you use this kind of vehicle? You can use it in almost anywhere. It could be a luxury vehicle, it could also be a utility vehicle. Now, these are people who are naturally leaders. These are people who are slow and steady. These are people who require patience, sincerity, and commitment. But these people also have their own downside. They think that they are supportive, they think they are sensible, they think they are predictable and loyal. But some people see these people as fragile, they see them as slow, they see them as dispassionate. Sometimes they feel that they tolerate people too much because they take on everything. They hardly say no. You will find them in every team. Ask yourself, which are you? Finally, we have the systematic silence. Now, these are the protocol people. These are the people who are standard. It must be A. These are the people who will ask you, what do the bylaws of Toastmasters say towards this? Now, these are the people that in some cases, they are very good administrators, they are very good as secretaries, but sometimes they could slow things down. And they see themselves as observant, as detailed, as certain, as excellent, as accurate, but people see them as perfectionists, as nosy, as unsociable, as distrustful, as fixated, as suspicious. Now, in your team, as I said earlier, I am certain you have at least one of these four. You may even have all four of them there. As club president, it's your responsibility to know where every member falls and know how best to make use of them. My time is fast spent, and I think I have so far achieved 3 of the 4 objectives. The 4th objective, which is creating a strong team or a healthy team, is yours to make. And it's based on all you have heard so far. So the question to you all as you leave this space is, how can I build a healthy team with what I know now? I will now hand over to the Toastmaster of
the day. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. My other device decided to join me in echoing that. Can we please give the distinguished Toastmaster Winston a resounding round of applause for that fantastic presentation? I can say boldly that all our facilitators today have been what we call in Nigeria as being on point. It's been fantastic. Personalized delivery, not just teaching from the manuals or from the textbook. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Winston. We would like to request that you permit us to have a little amendment to the session. Ideally, we should be closing by now, but because we need feedback from the breakout sessions, we want to crave your indulgence to please increase the time, the closing time to 3:30. So rather than close now, we want to have summary from each group from the breakout session.
Madam CMOD. I think it's a network challenge.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, to give the summary of what happened in the president's group, please welcome Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajoko. Toastmaster Tony, 2 minutes, please.
Toastmaster Bolajoko.
Please, can we have someone else who attended the president group? Any other president in the house, please?
If the presidents are shy, we could go to the VPEs, the powerhouse of the clubs.
President is here.
Okay,
my
please
audio.
go ahead, please. Yes, you are.
Thank you very kindly, distinguished Toastmasters and guests, trainers, facilitators, everyone present here today. My name is Toastmaster Namiti Akpan, and I'm reporting as the president of the Uyo Premier Speakers in Akwa Ibom State. In our interaction during the breakout session, one of the key points we got to know was the fact that as president, you are the CEO of the club and you have to make decisions as to where the club is going and where it will be after your tenure and even beyond that. So you have to build a team that would work towards the club vision and try to ensure that everyone aligns with the goals of the team. And then another thing we got to learn critically from Toastmaster Ibrahim was that there's an internal role and an external role. And internally, the president does all these, but externally, the president serves as a liaison between the club, the area, the district, and beyond that. And ultimately, we all need to be sensitive and be humane while leading our clubs. Thank you very much. It was an interesting session, and there were a lot of takeaways from this training. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Constantine. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Namiti. Very well delivered. To give the presentation for the Vice President, for the team of Vice President Education, will be Toastmaster Lansing Diabate. Toastmaster Lansing, please.
Thank you very much. During our office, we talked about the role of Vice President of Education. We also talk about the responsibilities of Vice President of Education before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. And we gave some resources and some resources links to our different Vice President of Education connected. This first part has been done by Caroline Mackenzie. And the second part was concerning some tips we gave to them. Some tips concerning how to get role players, how to convince members to play some roles. Some tips concerning the session management as a project. Some tips concerning the mentor following. It is important to follow the different mentors. Also, some tips concerning the necessity of the Vice President of Education to master his own learning because he is the reference concerning the educational affairs. And also we talk about the necessity to pay attention to non-voluntary members in the club. Most of the time we forget them because we have so many people looking for the roles. So it is important also. We talk about DCP, mentoring, planification, etc. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lansing. Succinct. My takeaway from you is be creative in getting people to play roles. I know that's very important in the clubs. To give us a summary for the team of Vice President membership will be Toastmaster Nduke Usoro. Toastmaster Nduke, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Badiru, Toastmaster of the Day. For the VPM session, the agenda was for us to discuss the role, the responsibility, and the resources available to the Vice President membership. So we discussed their roles before the meeting, upon arrival, at club meetings, during club meetings, outside the meeting, how to organize and conduct membership contests. That's when we brought to their knowledge the different membership awards available to them. That includes the Smedley Awards, the Talk Up Toastmasters Award, and the Beat the Clock Awards. So they're encouraged to go back and look more into that and see how they could leverage those awards just to promote their club. So the general reports of the club membership, we had to remind them that they are the ones to make that available, and we brought to their notice the various resources are available, numerous resources, very enriching. They have to be deliberate to go out for those resources, understand it, and be able to share with others. The moment of truth was brought to bear, and we'll also encourage them to study that very often and filter out the one that applies to their role for effective execution. And we got to the point of telling them they have to reproduce themselves. They have to reproduce themselves. In the next 2-3 months, they should already have an idea of who would take up that role as Vice President membership and run the mandate of the club in future. So we ended by reminding them of the quote by William Johnson, which says, if it is to be, it is up to me. So as a VPM, it is up to me to serve in that role and establish the mandate of VPM in each of the clubs and lead the club to success. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nduke. Thank you very much. Very quickly, to save our time, can I call Toastmaster Estelle Gene to give the report for the Vice President, excuse me, for the Vice President Public Relations, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Hello, everyone. My name is Toastmaster S.A. I'm a member of PEC-10 and serve at the area and division level. For our facilitation session, we were taught by Toastmasters Godwin and Toastmasters Francis. We were taught about before the meeting, during the meeting, and part of our responsibilities outside club meetings. A core thing was about our role as publicity members, ensuring we always have updated, accessible contact information. We're giving an instance of when, even when numbers were changed on the official Toastmaster website, it had not been updated. Then also we're giving recommendations on available materials and resources that can support us in our journey. Then in tips for how to manage our responsibilities, it was channeled under how we plan to complete our responsibilities, who would be available to support us. For that, a tip was given that we create between 1 to 3 members of a PRO committee. In terms of what we were recommended to the Toastmaster website that is replete with a lot of materials and resources. In addition, we were asked to drop our personal email so we could get copies of the training material that we had gotten during the meeting. We're also advised to connect with both outgoing EXCOs and current EXCOs to learn from them. We're advised to develop an action plan in ensuring we go about our duties. And finally, we're advised that we also plan in case of getting a replacement, assistant, and for whoever is going to succeed in our position. So they would have a very easy transition. Then learning to get volunteers to ensure they help us in our campaign events, also using newsletters to connect to members and guests, even those that might not attend events as much as they would like. It ended with a discussion on brand visual identity and sticking to the official Toastmasters guideline brand rules when sharing publicity materials. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Eseogene. You delivered that like a true public relations person. Thank you. A resounding thing is reproduce yourself. Reproduce yourself. To take us in the next session is Toastmaster Adedibi, who will share what was discussed. Sorry, this thing has crumbled. Toastmaster Adedibi will share what was discussed in the group, in the breakout room with secretaries. Toastmaster Adedibi. Toastmaster Adedibi, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. In the secretary group, we have a representative that will take it, and that's Toastmaster Ese, all the way from Premier Toastmasters in Uyo. Over to you, Toastmaster Efe.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Good afternoon, distinguished Toastmasters, both at the club level, the area, and the division level. I'm sorry my camera will not be turned on because I'm somewhere that's not so nice. For the secretary breakout section, it was quite revealing. Can you all hear me? I need a confirmation before I go on.
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Oh, beautiful, great. For the secretary section, it was quite revealing. The section anchored by Babatunde Aderingbe. Sorry if I murdered the name. I learned a lot. We're told that as secretary of the club, we're not just minute takers in the club. We have role responsibility before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. But one thing that struck me during the training or during the section is that for most of us club secretary, we don't get to read our minutes during the meeting for adoption. We were told or we were trained to find time to get to read out our club minutes after it's been written and shared via email or WhatsApp or whatever section. It should be adopted. So we should always create time in our club to get the minutes of the meeting read and adopted by members before we proceed for the current meeting. Again, we're told that as club secretaries, we ought to collaborate more with the president and the VP of the club. We should be part of the process of setting up a meeting. We should not leave that to just the VP alone. We should be part of the creating the agenda. So we should be able to create out things that will inspire the club, inspire members and all that. Again, I learned during this section that we are meant to probably keep a role of all officers of the club and as well as members of the club. We can find that actually on the dashboard of Toastmasters International, the Porter. And also, again, I learned during that section that as club secretary, we should be able to bring fun and a lot of spice into the club. We shouldn't leave that to the president and the VP. We should be able to set agenda for the president, remind them of their duties, as well as probably to create a lot of things that will bring members and get every members engaged in the club. We're not just to take minutes. And during the meeting, we should be able to find our time to get names of new members, get names of guests, and probably maybe share them during our minute section. So basically what I learned today as a club secretary is that my role is not just to take minutes, it's for us to do a lot of collaboration amongst between the president and ourselves, the VPE, and every other role players, the SSA. During meetings, we should be able to pass around the club register, the guest register, to facilitate things and make things in our clubs go very fluid. That's what I learned today in my section. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Efe. You are not just to take down minutes of the meeting. Key points, read the minutes and adopt it at every meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster Efe. To give the summary for the group of treasurers, I'll call on Toastmaster Bosedi Oyekunle.
Thank you, thank you, Madam CMOD.
That's the person that took off.
Yes. Okay, I think somebody's speaking. So I'd like to foremost say that it's a great opportunity having to rub minds with the treasurer of various clubs. And I will start with a key message that should resonate amongst all the executives, that the role of the treasurer is a role for every executive, considering the fact, which was what we used in rounding up during our question and answer session, considering the fact that if a club is considered healthy, not just with educational goals, if you have all the educational goals and you have lots of members, but who are not financially active, you will discover that every of the efforts you have put into place will go down the drain. And we don't want that to happen. We've seen that happen. So we encourage all treasurers to work with the past executive that handed over to them and the new executives to ensure that the club is financially active. And one key question that actually came up during our session was the challenge with exchange rates, knowing that the payments and dues are made in the dollars. And so what we advise the treasurers to do is when members make payments, please let them know that this is when we do remittance. If there's any change in exchange rates, let them trust you enough to know that there's increase in exchange rates and this is what we need to do. And when remittances are made, please pay back to the Toastmasters International as soon as possible. Do not wait for the cutoff line or the deadline. And also be innovative and creative. Find ways of making more money or funding into your various clubs. And we also talked about the importance of treasurer in Toastmasters. They should keep their reports, even though you're not being audited, or if you're being audited, ensure that you have the Boy Scout route of ever being ready with your financial reports of your club. In all, we had a very interactive session. I'm sure that with the set of the treasurers that we had in our sessions, we're going places and we'll make great milestones. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bosedi Oyekunle. Find creative ways to boost your treasury. Thank you. And finally, but certainly not the least, the group that I consider to be the Homer in every club, the Sergeant at Arms. Toastmaster Sheyi Oladeji, please, with the summary of the meeting for Sergeant at Arms. Toastmaster Sheyi.
Can you hear me? Apologies, I was just trying to set up.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we had a very interesting session where we shared the role of the Sergeant at Arms and how critical the role is to the sustenance of the club, especially because as Sergeant at Arms, you mostly a heavy lifter at the club, using that analogy. And we also talked about the fact that when you're Sergeant at Arms, you are responsible for ensuring all club materials are available for meetings, to set up, to ensure that the meeting space is in order. And if there's any last minute change, you also have a responsibility to get that information across in good time. We also talked about the fact that you work with every member of the team, from president down to vice president, secretary, and down the line. So your role is such that you have to have a cordial relationship with every member of the team. And considering that the job or the role as Sergeant at Arms can be sometimes overbearing from time to take up this role or to share the burden of having to set up meetings as at when due. So it was a very good experience and we had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Oladeji. It's been a beautiful day. We've achieved quite a lot and we're still making good time at the moment. Mahatma Gandhi, the great Indian statesman, said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. As leaders, as club leaders, we are called to serve and to lose ourselves in the service of others, to help build people up, to help people achieve their dreams, to help people achieve their goals, to give them the food that they actually want to eat. It's been a pleasure to serve as the Toastmaster of the day. I want to appreciate all the organizers, all the facilitators, all the club officers that attended the COT. Thank you very much. And I would love to now hand over to the man that speaks so many languages. I don't even know how to describe him, to close for us, Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimoh, who is a trained broadcast journalist with over 7 years full-time experience and practice covering various aspects of broadcast journalism in scriptwriting, voiceover, audio and video editing and production, as well as public relations, digital media marketing, communications, graphic design, and branding. I don't know what else. I don't know what he cannot do. He's a member of Toastmasters International. He's been a member of Toastmasters International since 2013, and he is a certified Advanced Communicator Gold Award winner. He currently serves as a Program Quality Director for Division F, District 94. Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimoh, please welcome to the lectern.
Thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, everyone, for not just for today, but for yesterday as well. Please do remember to fill the attendance form. A big thank you from yesterday and those of today to our Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba. Thank you so much for all the night calls I gave to you, calling you 11 p.m., 12 p.m. at night, reach out to facilitators and what have you. That's really good. And to all our directors as well, from Division F, K, and L. For us here at Division F, we have some programs coming up. First up for this month is our Oldies is Goldies event. We intend to celebrate our veterans. So that event is coming up on the 29th of August by 2 p.m. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. we will celebrate our veterans in Division F. Please watch out for this event. More details about it will come during the week. Then later on in September, we are having a mentorship masterclass, Toastmasters Mentorship Masterclass, 10 a.m. September 11th. We are set and ready for you here at Division F. The same thing in September, we would have a speech contest, humorous and table topic speech contest for club levels. So let us all please prepare for this contest. Thank you all so much. Your feedback, comments, and suggestions that you dropped via the attendance form will be attended to. We will put into practice. We'll review everything you've said there, and we'll see how best we can serve you, because truly that is what we are here to do. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate this, and please be safe. We do hope to see you at our subsequent events. Thank you all so much. Do have a nice day.
Thank you, Abdullah Jimoh.
Please kindly.
Thank you for letting us overshoot time. Please
kindly fill the performance feedback.
Madam Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, everyone. God bless. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe Sunday. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you very kindly. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you very much. Have a nice week ahead.
Thank you all. Have a lovely week ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Please ensure you take the poll, please. Oh, 100%, good. Thank you for the feedback as well.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you for all the background support I got today. Thank you.
No problem.
Toastmaster Gimba, are you Nupe? Toastmaster Gimba.
Yes, ma'am. Can I be seen? I
can see you.
Okay. Well done.
Thank you. Are you Nupe?
No.
Oh,
I'm from Yobe State.
Yobe. Oh, the Gimba I know is Nupe, is from Niger State. That's why I asked.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of Gimbas up there. It's actually a Nupe. We stole it from them.
There's a story.
It's a Nupe. We stole it.
So I was right now. Yes. But it's supposed to be like Gambo, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, the thing is, there's a lot of marriage links between us from Yobe and the people from Niger State. A lot of our parents and grandparents married from Niger State. So there's a bit of an influence there. Some of the names they bear, we bear too.
Don't mind me asking lots of questions. I like to learn about people.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great week.
You too. You too. Mommy Ayeshimoju, greetings, ma. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic anchor.
Thank
Well
you for
done.
the opportunity.
An
Thank
amazing
you.
summary that gives everybody a package to take home, which they can use. Well done.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Well done.
Toastmaster Chidi, I know you are one of the people that sets me up.
A good setup indeed. To let you give and grow.
Can I set you up?
I know you set me up. Oh, well, I'm good. Thank you. How is the club doing?
Thank you for facilitating. Fine, doing well.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank
And
you.
Toastmaster Kubi, my favorite Toastmaster. Okay, his body is here, but his name is here, but his body is not. Thank you, everybody.
It's to
Toastmaster
anchor something at
Austin.
5 p.m. You remember that?
All right.
This
Yes,
marriage
that's
between
true. He has a
Toastmasters,
meeting
and
at
so
5.
you must be
As I've done.
probably working at that.
Thank you. PQD Toastmaster Austin, the saint, the only saint in our midst. Thank you. Meeting is over, or you people.